Okay. Hello, I'm Aloysius Zainerman, and you would not believe this. Today I found this jewel in a local neighborhood in California. It's in the middle of nowhere. You will never know really where this thing is. It's a buried heart, and it has no name. Or maybe it has a name, but I do not want it to be a name. It's like that kind of heart. And this heart has like a traffic signal, see? And happiness and love can still be controlled so that way you do not offend your audience too much with your confidence. So maybe if I was to appeal to you in a really good way, I would do this. See? Maybe some people would like this heart, but maybe other people would like this heart. And then maybe a few people maybe would like this heart. And maybe, maybe sometimes, people need privacy and they need this. And I understand that. Sometimes you need a dark heart and you just need to stay in the shadows, especially if there's like a really bright golden bowl somewhere in the wilderness. There were a lot of things in the California wildernesses. Just when I say wildernesses, it's like, well, which nature? I will never really know. It's like counting bones and figuring out like which bones go with the best medicine. It's like, maybe I would have a bone made of jelly. And I'm like a cereal mascot. This is kind of like how I talk in my Aloysius Zainerman thing. I'm like a cereal mascot that speaks in like secret things that nobody really knows. I call it a secret poem, in which it's like, it has a meaning. You really know it's have a meaning. It's a secret poem. It's a wonderful secret poem. It's the most beautiful secret poem. But the problem is, if you dig too deep, you're in lava. Yeah. Definitely, whenever there's a poor word, or whenever there's like a tricky word or something, be careful with those because some of those places may be like, bear claws that lost some of their parts thousands of years ago. Maybe it's like, maybe how like, maybe after a million years, I try to turn on this heart, and I cannot turn it on, and nobody will ever know what this heart from a million years ago was like. That's where it's really sad about candy evolution. And in fact, imagine in my weird, okay, I'll be a little honest, atheism related, art. Imagine if there was a candy of God. We don't know who he is. He probably will be, Mr. Mysterious. We do not know. But he's a god of candy. A huge, great, and mighty god of candy, which would be contrary to the ancient past of a god of a plant. Well, okay. I guess he could eat a plant. But that's not really as exciting as like this, like candy, That's why we have candy, because candy can taste really good. I like candy. So sometimes I'll drop into town, and when I go to a little village with the country bear, I'll ask the country bear, do you know the best place where they have the biggest bags of gummy worms? And he'll say, oh yes, I use them all the time to feed... Oh God. Sometimes I cough because of the weather without me controlling it. So sometimes it's like when I do my poetry, the weather impacts me without my will. So sometimes free will is a delusion. Yeah. Oh God, I can't control that. My throat was bothering me. Anyways, the desert was dry and I was thirsty for water and stuff, and I had to wait for water after a 3-hour walk. So, and I will never tell you where this place is, and the reason is because It's such a secret place. It's a secret world. It's the most beautiful secret world that you will ever know. That if you ever mention it, the most beautiful tiger will eat you alive. And I'm sorry, Tiger. I know you're sad about those poor tickets you got at the restaurant. I'm sorry. And I'm using a fantasy here for DeviantArt to act, on a fantasy and fiction. Don't take it seriously. But, maybe I would show, sometimes I show a grumpy tiger something like this. And he's like, so what? And I show him this. And he's like, so what? And okay. And I show him this. He's like, so what? And I show him this. He's like, oh, God damn it, stop bothering me. You're being funny. Then the tiger cheers up. That's how I joke with the tiger. Like, yes, that is a heart, and it changes millions of lights every 2 seconds. That makes sense. And sometimes we see so many candies, or we see so many colors in Candyland that you have to wonder, where are the coloring books? Yeah, so if you are looking for coloring books, like if your children were crying, and if you're trying to find beautiful coloring books, you have to ask yourself, if I went into Fall Greens for the best gummy worms, would I ask the manager Gummy Shark where I could get the best coloring books? Because he might say, well, there are so many colors in this land that I do not really know where anything is. And so it becomes kind of like this abstract sort of thing in which it's like, you may see someone like me and be like, well, I do not want to talk to you because you look too weird. And well, unfortunately, that's a symptom of fantasies and fiction and stuff. Because then what happens is you kind of lose awareness of like what it means to have a person in front of you. Because you're seeing too many colors. You have to be like, to be an invisible Candyman like me. Like imagine like I am the greatest invisible Candyman in the world. And you do not want to talk to me because you see me, but you want to keep me invisible. And I respect that. You have a good purpose. You are honest. And you liked your McDonald's iced coffee very much. I asked you, do you like McDonald's? Do you like your iced coffee? You did not want to talk to me. And without bugging you for an answer, I just said, that's okay. I was just giving you an important question. Have a good day. And I don't get rude with people. You see, if you're reading my written criticism, like with negative thoughts, that means you're not using my voice. You see, you don't sound like me, because usually Candymen don't exist. I respect that. Because at times Candymen are very rare. I mean, how many times have you seen a shark? Like, maybe like a real ocean shark without candy. Or maybe what if you find a candy phone that does not have candy anymore? You're trying to get reception on this candy phone, but you're not getting the candy. That's weird to me. It's like, I'm like, okay, I'm happy, but I do not really believe it. It's like, I know I could click this, and I can be pleased, but my pleasure in a lot of ways doesn't really feel exactly real, Because I'm also a naturalist when I travel in California and ask my private strangers how their day is. And guess what? One time I went into a neighborhood and I was walking for 3 hours in this neighborhood to see how they're doing. And I ate at a Chinese restaurant and a McDonald's. And I would say the Chinese restaurant was way better than the McDonald's. Way better. I liked it a lot better. A lot better. McDonald's is like the kind of thing where it's like, I have it when McDonald's is in the middle of nowhere and I have no choice. And I'm grateful to God. Yeah, then I have McDonald's with grace. But if I'm in the kind of place in McDonald's where it's like, if I'm in the kind of place in California where it's like, there's a McDonald's, but there's also like millions of other restaurants. Okay, then I'll go somewhere else. That makes sense. Yeah. I'm not gross. I'm not the guy who eats fast food all the time. No. Fast food, maybe I'll have it five times a month. I just go in the middle of nowhere and I ask total strangers how their days are and see if they give me honest, kind, and responsible conversation skills. And depending on how risky this taking heart can be in a green desert that's burning up, if you're quiet as a mouse when there's something like this, I did not make this hard, but I'm going to tell you, oh my God, you got to get out of there. Or at least just be in your private home and have a guard dog with you. That's honest and kind. I understand. I knew a Western redneck in Taft, California, who was kind of like that. Absolutely. In fact, he was the kind of guy he would not really like his guitar anymore because 2 strings were missing, and he was not really good at music anymore, and he was just getting older, and I've seen that with old people when I talk to them about Pong machines and Atari 5200 and stuff. It's so interesting. Like, maybe I'll ask an old person, what is this? Like, I'll ask an old person, what is this in California? What is this? And often they'll say, I have never heard it. Yeah, and that's where it's kind of interesting, because it's like, well, okay. I would say I like this joystick. This is an Atari 7800 joystick, which looks kind of like candy in a lot of ways. I would just say it's only good if you're willing to be rough without a strong handle. Or without, like, a really even handle. Like that kind of thing. It's more like a rope. And that's why I'm wearing these. You see these? These are not cowboy gloves, believe it or not. I bought these at Goodwill in Sacramento. These are gaming gloves, and I got them for 79 cents. So yes, I am a costume sort of person. But I do not buy too many costumes because that's greedy. You gotta try to use what you have more. Yeah. So for example, would you take a controller and wear it backwards? That would be weird. Then I would be like, you entered a controller land. Like, hello, welcome to Controller Land. And we welcome you to this Atari 70. God. Oh, man, I'm sorry. I was just looking at something funny. Okay. With this rodeo thing, like, we have an Atari 7800 rodeo for the gummy horses. This is how we do it. We have gummy horses and gummy zebras. We want you to race between them in a football game and have gummy zebras versus gummy horses with this Atari 7800 controller. And you must do this rodeo with a mermaid from San Diego. And the mermaid must be made of chocolate and cactus at the same time. And believe it or not, I went to a candy store in the middle of nowhere that almost did not have a name in California. And even like the people there, when I talked to them, they're like, I do not know where I am. And I understand that. You're just trying to be safe, and I would never hurt you. No. So I'm your friend. I would never hurt you. Yeah. I have this, remember, heart. I love you. Okay. I'm not going to hit you. No. I've watched too many Looney Tunes. I don't do that. No. A lot of that Looney Tune stuff of, like, hitting stuff, that was done when, like, there were more, like, Andrew Jackson sort of people, and they needed to be really thrifty and smart. Because when you're stranded in the middle of nowhere, you cannot always use this in the middle of nowhere. At times, you have something, more like this, like, you have to be smart. Because, you see, this is just a book about nothing. That's why it's a journal. It's a book about nothing. That's why you need to fill it. And I hope you love this candy conversation I've had with you. Have a good one and enjoy my secret poem. Take care.